There is a man right now lying on his bed at 2 a.m., phone in hand, scrolling. He is not happy. He is not satisfied. But he cannot stop. And somewhere, a corporation just made $7 billion off both of them. The wound is not lust. The wound is that lust has been industrialized, packaged, optimized through a fiber optic cable. The man is not buying content. He is buying the feeling of being wanted. The system used human women to train human men to accept digital intimacy. Now that the conditioning is complete, it is replacing the woman with code. Close the app, use the hunger, build the life that earns real desire, not the simulation of it. There is a man right now lying on his bed at 2 a.m., phone in hand, scrolling. He is not happy. He is not satisfied, but he cannot stop. And there is a woman right now posting her third piece of content today for an account she started because someone told her it was the fastest way to financial freedom. She's not free. She has not felt free in a long time. And somewhere, a corporation just made $7 billion off both of them. Today we talk about what is actually happening. Not the version they want us to believe, the real one. We are living through the loneliest era in human history. The loneliest. Not because we are isolated. We have more access to people than any generation that ever lived. But there is a significant reason. That's because genuine human connection, the kind that requires us to show up, to be vulnerable, to build trust over time, has been replaced. Replaced by a screen, by a subscription, by the engineered simulation of intimacy that cost $30 a month and leaves the man who pays it more hollow than before he opened the app. The wound is not lust. Lust has always existed. The wound is that for the first time in human history, lust has been industrialized, turned into a subscription model, packaged, optimized, delivered to the loneliest man on earth through a fiber optic cable and sold to the woman, delivering it as empowerment. Both of them are losing something here. And neither of them fully understands what it is yet. To understand what is actually happening here, we need to go back to something fundamental. In the ancient Vedic understanding of reality, and this is not religion, this is physics. Everything in existence is built on polarity. The masculine energy, the feminine energy. The masculine, Shiva, is a container, the stillness, the structure, the ground. It is the thing that provides safety through immovable presence. The feminine is Shakti, is the life force inside the container, the creation, the emotion, the radiance, the energy that flows and generates when it has a strong enough ground to hold it. When these two meet in their natural form, you get life, you get creation, you get the kind of love that actually changes a human being. Now, what does a man have to build to attract a real woman? Historically, everything. Physical strength, emotional steadiness, the ability to provide, to protect, the hunger of the masculine for the feminine was the evolutionary engine that forced a boy to build himself into a man. The screen bypasses that engine completely. When a man pays $30 to access a simulation of a woman, his brain does not know the difference. His dopamine system fires as if he has arrived. As if he has won, he gets the chemical reward of the masculine who built the container without ever building it. And so he stops building. Why would he build what he can already access for $30? And on the other side, the woman who starts an account is told she's wielding her feminine power. She's not. To survive on that platform, she has to analyze subscriber churn rates, schedule mass messages, strategize her vulnerability, decide how much of herself to reveal this week to prevent the man from canceling. That is not feminine power. That is a data-driven corporation running inside a woman's nervous system. The system has taken men who were born to be grounded, building, present, and turned them into passive scrolling consumers. It has taken women who were born to be radiant, intuitive, alive, and turned them into calculating, optimizing machines. The roles have been completely inverted and both of them call it normal. And now the numbers. Because the numbers confirm what we have already felt. In 2024, fans spent $7.2 billion on this platform. The company took home $1.4 billion in pure revenue just for hosting the servers. It did not create a single piece of content. It built a pipe between loneliness and desperation and charged both ends to use it. Now here's the part that nobody talks about. 96% of the women on that platform makes less than $1,000 a year. The average creator, the woman who was told this was financial freedom, makes $131 a month. $131 a month for managing 500 parasocial relationships with men she has never met and does not respect, for posting every day, replying to messages at midnight, performing intimacy on demand. 55% of those women report being actively harassed by the man who paid them and the man. 70% of them cancel their subscription after the first month, not because they are satisfied, because the screen cannot actually give them what they were looking for. So they move to the next one and the next one, and the emptiness stays. Here is actually what the data is actually showing us. The man is not buying content. 70% of all revenue comes from private messages, from the paid simulation of a personal conversation. He is buying the feeling of being wanted. He is paying a monthly subscription to feel desired. Because somewhere along the way, he stopped believing he could build a version of himself to earn it for real. So let me speak directly now. First to the man, then to the woman. If you are a man watching this, the pull you feel towards the screen is not weakness. It is a misdirected biological drive that was designed to make you build something extraordinary. That drive, the hunger, the desire, the fire, was never meant to end at a screen. It was meant to be the engine that made you get up at 5 in the morning and build the body, the mind, the life that attracts a real woman who actually sees you. Every hour on that platform, in an hour of that engine running in the wrong direction, you're spending the fuel instead of using it to build. In episode 7 of this series, we understood that energy flows where attention goes. The man who pours his attention into the screen is pouring his generative energy into a corporation's server. He is building their empire with the exact resource that was meant to build his own. Turn the screen off, stand up, use the hunger to build a container. That is what the masculine was designed for. If you are a woman watching this, the culture told you that selling your intimacy is power. And I understand why that message landed. Because in a world that has undervalued the feminine for centuries, any form of economic control feels like liberation. But there is a difference between power and extraction. Power grows, extraction depletes. The woman who wakes up every day and runs the analytics of her vulnerability, who decides how much of her sacred energy to release today based on last month's churn rate, is not wielding her feminine power. She is liquidating it, dollar by dollar, post by post, until there is nothing left that she recognizes as herself. The feminine energy, Shakti, is wild, spontaneous, untethered. It cannot be scheduled. It cannot be optimized. The moment it is turned into a content calendar, it stops being sacred. And the woman who sacrifices her sacredness for an algorithm will eventually find that the algorithm no longer needs her. Because the AI that replaces her next year does not sleep, does not burn out, and will never ask for more than the server costs. And that is not a threat. That is already happening right now. When a man messages a top creator, he is almost never talking to her. He is talking to hired chatter or AI chat box, programmed to flirt and extract tips. The system used human women to train human men to accept digital intimacy. Now that the conditioning is complete, it is replacing the woman with code. This was never about empowerment. It was a conditioning phase. And the women who gave their sacredness to it will be the last to know when it is over. I'm not here to judge anyone. Not the man on his bed at 2 a.m., not the woman managing her account at midnight. I'm here because I understand the operating system that produced both of them. We talked about that operating system in episode 24 of this series, the corrupted software running on brilliant hardware, the broken architecture producing unpredictable results. This platform is not a cause, it is a symptom. It is what happens when a generation of men never learn to build the container, and a generation of women were handed a tool and told it was their throne. The sovereign exit is not complicated. For the man, close the app, use the hunger, build the body, build the discipline, build the life that earns real desire, not the simulation of it. For the woman, stop optimizing your sacredness for an algorithm that will delete you the moment code becomes cheaper. Your feminine energy is not a product. It is a force, and a force belongs in hands of someone who understands it, someone who values it. The system runs on our dysregulation, on his loneliness and her desperation, on the gap between the man who forget how to build and the woman who was told that selling was the same as owning. The ultimate rebellion is not rage. It is simply this: returning to the original design, the masculine that builds, that feminine that flows, the polarity that creates something neither of them could produce alone. That is not an old idea. That is the oldest truth alive. And it is the $7 billion machine is working the hardest to make us forget. We remember it now. Share this with someone who is stuck in that loop. The man who has forgotten why he is supposed to build, or the woman who has been told that selling herself is the same as owning herself. It is not. It never was. This is not an advice. This is the code. See you at sunrise.